I was just asking about the songbooks.
I have no idea. I think there's a jukebox in town that we built.
A jukebox?
Yeah.
Cool. So you can actually listen to the songs.
Yeah.
So here we are. The slum.
They've crammed all the catfolk into this little place. By crikey, 'tain't possible.
Flippin' heck.
And it's all musty and damp because the sewers as well. Makes the old Sky Pirate base seem like paradise. Well, shall we chat to a few people and see what we can find out?
Do we have a save stone in here?
There's
No, but we got a warp point.
Warp point.
Alright, close enough. Can I just warp out of here? See, nope, God. Why give me the trip door?
Well, it's more plot important.
There's no safe spots in here?
Well, the girl is standing at one end.
All right.
Nope. We have to talk to them.
Oh, look at that chest hair. A chest floof.
No, he's just got like a hairy leech
A tribble stuck to his chest.
on his chin. It's mating with the thing on his chin.
What?
Ever since King Mousinga took over, the mouse soldiers have been allowed to do whatever they like. They harass Cremation in the streets, even if they've done nothing wrong. I always find some pretense for punishing them. One of my friends was just arrested for shoplifting. He was queuing up to pay. It makes my blood boil. I can't say anything, though. Otherwise, they'll throw me in the dungeons next. Honestly, most cats are afraid to even leave the houses their houses these days.
Hey, is that the kid we helped earlier?
Hey, wait a second. You're the one who brought me that sardine sandwich, aren't you? Honestly, you have no idea what that meant to me. Thank you ever so much.
Okay.
Well, that didn't matter.
Hey.
Hello.
There you are. Thanks again for saving me. Oh, I said I'd give you something to say thanks, didn't I? Here you go. A token of Moglet's undying gratitude. Swish fish.
Thank you.
Thank you, Moglet. But are you sure? Fish are awfully hard to get a hold of down here, aren't they? No, I simply can't take it. It's reward enough to see you safe and sound. It really is.
I have to point this out.
Yeah?
In my litany of other complaints, she doesn't have ear holes, they just tacked the ears on top of her hat.
Yeah.
I was just like, how does she hear? Anyway.
But really? You're sure? Well, if you insist. Evan gives the swish fish back to Moglet. Thank you very, very, very much. Fish are really hard to get here, you know. I owe you double now. My mom loves these, you see. And I've been trying to get my paws on one for ages. I wanted to surprise her with a reminder of what it used to be like back home. What happened to your home, if you don't mind me asking? Well, the soldiers came, didn't they? And they threw us out, just like that. My dad tried to stop them, but they arrested him and took him off somewhere.
Golly.
I'm sorry to hear that. All I want to know is when we can go home. Mousinga will probably get tired of being king soon, and then things will go back to normal, won't they?
Oh.
Well, is he gonna do some kind of weird dramatic display where he's like, I'm the king? Everyone's like, we're gonna have an uprising.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Monsters sometimes come in here from the old sewers, you know. You should see the hullabaloo that springs up when they do. They're only small, and we can usually fight them off. But that doesn't stop everyone worrying that they might be poisonous or something. And some of us living down here have got kittens. What if one day a bigger monster happens along, when none of us grown-ups are here to protect the little ones? Honestly, it keeps me awake at night.
Things are even worse here than I thought. Yeah, ding-dong dells, rotten to the blessed core.
But it's all because we used to persecute mouse kind. I'm sure there are plenty of people who are very happy to have Mousinga in charge. Evan, how do you know that the mice were so, treated so poor?
Because they said so.
I just don't...
Yeah, unfortunately there's no good proof, and...
They didn't really say if the mice were living in here instead.
They were...
Or
yeah,
anything else.
The problem... I hope they elucidate it, because otherwise this is kind of highlights why I have this problem with this game. It's like they're making it into this serious thing, but because they're... I don't know, whatever.
I don't condone what he's done, of course. A leader must be above petty vengeance. There's certainly no way we can form a union with such a kingdom.
So what are you gonna do? Get some vengeance of your own?
He killed my father. And Nella. He overthrew me and stole my kingdom. And he drove all these poor people down here.
Ugh.
He has to be removed. Ding Dong Dell will never know peace otherwise.
Well now.
Tell me, Evan. Your father, was he a bad judge of character?
What?
Think about it. Why would he make someone like Mousinga his most trusted advisor?
But...
Well, I suppose he... I'm sorry. I think I need some time to myself.
No, listen here.
Do you have to set about the poor lad so mercilessly, you devil you? Can you not see it plays merry hell with his little head?
Mm-hmm.
He'll be okay. He's a king.
Aye.
Aye, well, there's that, I suppose. You have to go after him, or can I save? Nope.
Master Evan? Hmm? Oh, it is you. It really is. Ratcha? Gosh, it's been so long. How are you? Relieved to have found you, that's how. The guards were all talking about how you'd been spotted. Oh, I was petrified they might get to you first. You mustn't stay here any longer. King Mousinga has ordered your arrest.
Thank you for your concern. But I came here to speak with him, as one ruler to another. I mean to forge a union between our two kingdoms.
It's Mousinga, not Mousinger. We've been pronouncing it wrong.
Different characters pronounce it differently.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
The localization is not consistent.
And how do you plan to do that? In case you haven't noticed, the borders are closed, and the entire country is cut off from the rest of the world.
I know, but... Can I ask you something, Ratcha? Is Ding Dong Dell better now? Are the rats and mice happy?
I think I know what's bothering you, but there's no need to worry, my dear. King Mousinga will come to his senses. He always hated injustice. That's why your father put his faith in him in the first place.
Really?
Oh, yes. Because he felt the same. And that's why he gave Mousefolk a chance, like no king of Ding Dong Dell had ever done before. Well, he made me his maid, didn't he? And Mousinga his chancellor. Such things were unheard of at the time.
But Mousinga believes that... He believes that my father simply used him in order to keep Mousekind under control.
Does he indeed? Then he's sorely mistaken. Your father near enough pulled his mane out trying to build bridges between our two peoples. It's just a shame you have to take an old maid's word for it. If only he could have told you himself. His diary would have been the next best thing, I suppose, but I'm afraid they laid it to rest alongside him.
Is that right? Thank you, Ratcha. You've been very helpful.
Glad to be of service, my dear. Just you be careful now, you hear?
They're going to rob his own father's tomb for a journal?
Here he is.
Hey.
You seem a little calmer.
Yes. I think I am. Sorry about before.
Well, now.
You weren't wrong, Roland. The lad came to his senses. Right?
Listen, all of you. I must go and visit my father's tomb. I'd need his diary. I need to get to know him better. Even if it means prying it from his cold fingers. Why are they... I hope they, like, laid it beside him, like, not...
Lofty looks way too excited about grave robbing.
I know he does.
Oh boy! I get to eat a king!
Eat? What are you talking about?
When no one's looking. Just a finger. Don't worry about it.
Sounds good to me. Let's get going, shall we?
Lead on, Evan. Oh, that was Roland, sorry. Alright, can I warp? Perfect.
That's a funny joke. What do you call it? Cat's tomb?
Really?
A mausoleum.
I thought we got the, oh. Weird.
Good one.
I thought we got the, we'll just go to the Cradle of Creation. It's probably easier. Okay. To finish my point from earlier, it's very easy to get on my nerves when people demand I do anything, especially. Because, like, generally, like, I'm trying to do my best with everything. So when people start demanding that I play X game or do X or Y or whatever, it, like, really gets to me because, like, either it doesn't work or it doesn't fit. Are you serious? It's too dangerous to land here.
Maybe you have to land on grass?
No, we have to go all the way back to the previous landing point because I guess it's too dangerous there. Despite the fact that there are no guards in sight or anywhere nearby.
You mean they'd spot the ship?
Yeah,
You
but...
just sneak in on foot.
I know, it's just like, we've already been spotted. I guess. I don't know. But so, like, when people start demanding that I play games like, play Scrap Mechanic over and over and over again, like, it gets really frustrating for me. Because...
But I'm your streaming partner.
I know you are
and
my streaming
recording
partner.
So it's one of those things where it'd be nice if you made things a little bit more
I would
accessible
love to.
for me.
But you know what would also be lovely? If YouTube and Twitch actually cared about me playing the games that I wanted to play, which includes this game. And I mean, admittedly, I've been belly aching more than usual lately. I think just because, like, the combination of, like, trying to fit this in around you going... What the devil? Where'd you come from? Go away! But the combination of, like, your vacation, trying to, like, fit in all the extra episodes, and then being sick for a month, just kind of sours things. Whenever I have, like, that bad experience of, like, scheduling problems or sick or whatever, I just put it away because I don't want to deal with, like, trying to move past that. But no, like... If I could have my way, I probably would just sit down and play this for, like, you know, 5 hours a day, you know, from release onwards and beat the game. Unfortunately, Twitch and YouTube...
Well, I wouldn't suggest playing any game for 5 hours at a time.
Well, we did. early on, we played this for generally 5 hours a night.
That's to get a lot in so that
Yeah,
you don't
but,
have to
like,
worry about it later on.
The other reason why I do that is because it's the only way that it can get a proper foothold on viewership to some degree with these games. Because if I don't do that, if I just, you know, do enough for YouTube, you know, like 2 hours here and then 2 hours like a couple days later, nobody will want to watch it again. And it's super painful from like a viewership standpoint because at that point I've missed the bus. And
How do we get up the hill?
You just loop around. It's the other way.
Oh,
Slimes!
the slimes!
And so, like, it sucks so much for me because, like, effectively whenever anybody asks me to, like, switch up my routine, it's not that I'm saying no. It's that like, when I say no, it's not because that I don't want to. It's because I don't want to bite the hand that feeds. And unfortunately, the hand that feeds is particularly, like, quick to abandon you, if that makes sense. And I'm not talking about like me kicking you out. I'm talking like I looked up a friend. Remember how I played with Gull of Doom? And Minx. Yes? No?
What? Wait, but
Are you following?
But what? No.
You've been
Like
checking
I didn't know you ever played with Minx. I know about Gull of Doom.
I played with Minx as part of Cryotic's failed reality TV show.
Right. But part of the failed reality TV show, yes. I
Yeah.
remember
So
that.
I played with her, and that was more or less the height of her Gmod days. I think this is like within a couple months of her playing with PewDiePie.
Oh, really?
And yeah.
Huh.
And so like it was a pretty big event, you know, to be included in this thing. And so that was like the height of YouTube for her. And, you know, a lot of these people, it's not just her, she was just the one that I interacted with the most because she was actually interested in speaking with me.
That's because there was that whole thing where you guys had teams that you were getting, like, people were team captains, and I think she
I
was
still have that footage somewhere. I might just put it up someday as like a weird gaff.
She was a team captain and chose you as one of like her team members. What was it? And
yeah. Oh, we had to play Chivalry. We did duel big free for all duel in Chivalry.
Wasn't Chivalry interesting? It was sort of like you guys were dressed up in armor and just slashing at each other.
Yeah, well, it's a medieval combat simulator, and it like tries to be more realistic than just the Skyrim like click to swing your sword. So you could actually like twist your character around to like increase the force of your blow and like swing for openings and stuff. It was cool. But well, we can talk about that later, and/or I've talked about it a bunch. But so that was in the height of her channel. I'm gonna run around and grind for a bit because we desperately need it. But so that was the height of her channel, and so when it came time when I was like looking up her channel and like Gull of Doom and a couple other people, Gull of Doom has straight up quit YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
Since you did, what was it? Starbound?
Yeah, he's done a couple of videos here and there, but like for the most part, he's had like 2 massive hiatuses.
I mean, I suppose I've had a hiatus because of
you've had a massive
my wrist.
hiatus. And so like for you it doesn't matter so much because your art videos can kind of be found whenever, and also like you're not making a living off of this. Whereas like for me and people that like really put their baseline off of YouTube, any amount of deviation or like screwing around straight up can sink your channel. So for Gull of Doom specifically, he founded his channel based on Starbound and Terraria and stuff. And it was very good for him while those games were popular. But, you know, they've since faded because...
Yeah, you don't want to tie yourself to one game.
But he tried not to. He tried doing what I did with Slay the Spire, where I said, I have to stop playing... Or, not Slay the Spire, Scrap Mechanic. I said to myself and kind of my audience at the time, I can't keep doing this, it's going to kill my channel. And coming out of that, dropping that and Fallout, like, do you remember how last year I only made like $1,700 for like 2 or 3 months straight? Which is real scary if you're paying the bills. Are you actually listening, or?
I am listening.
Okay.
You're just not supposed to tell numbers like that.
Yeah, you are. There's no actual like limitation. Like I've never signed anything that said you can't talk about money. It's just people don't
but
like
you're
to.
usually not supposed to talk about money when it comes to these things.
Well, I don't know. I'm just gonna throw it out there anyway. You don't want to tie yourself to a game. Tell that to Scrapman. Hey, more power to him. If he can actually get it working, good. But I knew for me, like, look at my Slay the Spire videos. The first I want to say like 20-30 episodes have the first 20-30 episodes have 40, 50, 100,000 views. You know, somewhere in there, and then everything thereafter has drifted down. So up until the defects coming out recently, I was getting about 2,000 to 3,000 views tops, which was higher than average, but you know, no longer the breadwinning series. And so I was actually considering axing it until they added the new character. I'm like, oh, okay, I can keep going with this. But so the problem is, like, you can't just tie yourself to one series generally, because it screws with you, and your audience will eventually leave you just because they got bored of the game. It's very rare for...
Well, also, as a Let's Player, wouldn't you yourself become bored of the game? I know that
Yeah.
things like scrap mechanic require creativity, so you're only limited by the number
I
of
could
things
have
you
probably
can think to
kept
build.
going with scrap mechanic and generally stayed fresh-ish. But like, I would rather be cycling new and interesting games than shackling myself to multiple 100-something episode series. I'd have to change things around a lot to do it. But so when it comes to, you know, somebody being like, hey, you know what you should do a series on? You should do a series on insert, like, 5-plus-year-old game. And I'm like, I can't do it. And then they keep pressing me. That's when I start, you know, throwing the analytics around and, like, explaining the numbers of why doing this is hard.
The only times you ever play games that are a couple years old is when there's a sequel coming out.
Yep. At which point it's kind of justified. And sometimes it works out really well. To my surprise, playing South Park's The Stick of Truth was incredibly popular. Which, I mean, I guess it makes sense. My reactions were genuine, and I was coming from the perspective of someone that's never touched South Park. Which would mean if you ever played it, it would be downright hilarious. But what is she aiming for? She never aims for the thing in front of her. Like, I've noticed that the
South Park
targeting
would
in this
just be
game is
way
confusing.
too lewd for me.
Yeah, probably would be. Underpants Gnome, I think, would break you.
What, Underpants Gnome?
Yeah. But, so, when, you know, you say, like, we need to play earlier and stuff, I'm like, you gotta... Everybody has to make sacrifices, and I'm always the one that makes these sacrifices, because it's either my free time, my sleep, or you.
I'm raring to go.
And it's not that I'm saying, like, I have to sacrifice you for it, but it's just, like, I have to sacrifice whatever time I'd have with you to do blank. Be it,
Well, that's why it's important that when we do have opportunity just to record together, that's sort of like us time,
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah, no, it's totally true.
So
but,
it's nice if I'm awake for it. That's
yeah,
all I'm saying.
I know. It's just, when you were getting snippy at me because I didn't fit you in earlier, and I'm like, I had 200 people watching a game. I don't get that high very often. Usually I'm stuck down in the mid-hundreds. And I mean, that's not a big deal, but it's like, I would actually like Twitch to be kind of the backup that I've always wanted it to be. You know, if I can get Twitch and YouTube to be like a 60-40 thing, that'd be perfect for me. Because if one of them dies, if YouTube suddenly decides to stop suggesting my videos entirely...
It still boggles me that Twitch is as popular as it is, considering that with YouTube it makes sense. You have an archive of videos that people can see whenever they please.
Twitch is much more personal. YouTube is this cold, unfeeling machine. Whereas, like, I can look over in chat, and, like, of the people that have spoken in the past 10 minutes, I remember actually every single person that has said a word in the live chat. I remember who they are and have spoken with them either on Discord or, you know, responded to them. And that is such a, like a...
I know that people like the personal interaction of a live stream. It's just... Like, I can never see how... If someone had a YouTube and a Twitch channel, how their Twitch channel could make more than YouTube unless a lot of people either donated bits or subscribed.
It entirely...
legitimately.
So most people don't have channels like I do. Most people, they're one or the other is primary. So take Soviet Womble, for example. He has a channel that he actually is kind of like my channel where he'll play with his friends and shit around and do dumb things. And then it ends up on his YouTube channel at a much later date in a highly edited form, which is different from me. And so he is he's kind of this like anomaly, not anomaly, where he got big-ish on Twitch, but he got really big on YouTube because his Twitch clips were hilarious. Which
Well, I
kind
suppose
of
there's the clip
worked on
function
both.
now.
But so he's kind of an anomaly because most Twitch streamers are very much the like, you know, hey blank, how you doing? Whatever. Hey, thanks for the bits. Hey, thanks for the sub. Hey, thanks for the, and kind of this like almost cyclical thing. So that can't really make it into YouTube. I'm really sorry we're grinding for this. I don't want to do plot stuff because the
It's gonna take forever to get to his father is gonna turn into a skeleton before we get there.
It's okay. It's better than a rotting corpse.
No,
What would you rather loot?
well,
Skelegrandma or still kind of toasty grandma?
ew, don't bring up grandmas.
Okay, fine. We can go loot my grandfathers. They're probably both quite decomposed by this point. Actually, no, both got cremated. Oh, that would make it easy. Unless the journal got cremated
I
with
have
them.
one set of
That'd be a
grandparents
problem.
that are most definitely buried the traditional way,
I'm raring to go.
and the other ones wanted to be cremated.
I don't know what I'd probably prefer to be cremated just because space.
I
That way,
always
if somebody
thought it
ever
was
has to
incredibly
excavate my
nice
grave,
when
they can just...
people melted ashes down into crystals and made, like, you know, like when people
I wanna
made
be
them
a
into
lamp.
diamonds. What?
Make me into a lamp and give me into the grandkids.
Like, I always thought it'd be cute for, like, a couple if they could be made into a ring or a pendant together.
Yeah, probably.
That would be nice. I think there was something about in Korea or Japan where they would melt people's ashes into like these glass balls and you put them, you know how like urns are always full of ash and people tip them over accidentally and it's like, oh no, if
Yeah.
they're not stored somewhere.
Oh, there's a chest back there that
But
I've been
imagine
missing
if
this
like,
entire
and
time.
you can actually like choose what color you want your marbles to be.
Lava lamp.
And
Oh,
you could
no.
just be a bunch of marbles sitting in a pretty glass jar, and
Yeah,
that's better.
instead of being turned into like a piece of jewelry or whatever, a lava lamp. Let me light up Grandma.
That-
We'll have a nice chill evening, lit by the remains of Grandmother. Whoo, that'd be weird. Okay. But yeah, I, just to kind of finish my infinite spiel off, I just am always constantly pursuing stability more than anything else. I have no... I'm not going to say I have no loyalty to any specific games. And I'm not trying to, like, chase YouTube fame. I'm just trying real hard to make sure YouTube doesn't, like, crash and burn on me and I'll have to find a job 3 years from now. And, like, it's
I
harder
understand.
than I think anybody ever thinks it is to keep that up. Because, like, you know, Gull stopped doing his YouTube because his audience moved past him, even though he tried to move along with. And Minx has started a third channel, her third channel total, with her wife. Because she had, like, a really high point around Resident Evil 7 when that came out. And then after that, her channel more or less shrunk down to about, you know, my level of views per video, which is real bad if you're not me.
You're welcome.
And so I think her new channel's working out for her, but that was within the last couple days.
Do you know what's sort of sad? Just the number of social media accounts that are super popular, have their own merchandise, make a lot of ad read, whatever, and they're based around a person's pet.
Oh, I don't think I've ever used that move. It's so garbage. Look at this thing. I can make a little shooty drone and it's pure trash.
Because, I mean, obviously there's a lot of cats, like Grumpy Cat, and there are some dogs. Like that one dog that is probably a Shiba Inu. Or, no, it was like the Pomeranian, that little dog. And then there was that rhino beetle, or stag beetle? I forget which. A beetle that could draw, quote-unquote, by, like, holding a marker and just happen to scribble on a canvas. And yeah, these channels and social media accounts get they
don't last though.
Well,
like,
they can't last because they're limited by the lifespan of the animal.
If I'm not mistaken, it's not. Did Grumpy Cat die?
I don't know.
I don't know if it was Grumpy Cat. One of those like famous animal social media things. The animal died. And the person, I think, actually had, like, an interview after it died. And he's like, the one thing, I didn't really think about was, now what do I do? I can't, I can't do what I've been doing this entire time. And they effectively were looking for a job again. Because it's not like they can just get another pet and reproduce this success. Keyboard Cat. Keyboard Cat died, but it wasn't that the owner was capitalizing off of
that was just that one video that was the dun, 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 dun,
yeah.
dun, dun, dun,
They
dun,
did
dun,
capitalize off of it a lot. Like, it was in quite a lot of things. They managed to shoehorn it in, but no, those have short shelf lives, but like with those, it's kind of the expectation is it's going to be short-lived. Whereas, like, professional YouTubers are kind of trying to keep this their career for as long as possible. And it's real scary when it stops being.
Now, will we have the means to open this, or was this just plot?
Oh, yeah. The last time we didn't open it just because. But yes, Kitsune Ko in chat does say that the Twitch issue is time difference. Yeah, if it's 1 a.m., I kind of understand. I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm not just, like, pure streamer or pure YouTuber, and I like putting up on both. But I don't know. It's hard. Anyway, go.
No, this is Lofty. It's you.
Oh, sorry. I figure it was Evan talking, because it's always Evan. Why is Lofty such a big character? This is the Crypt of Kings, isn't it? I've heard of this place.
Yes. And only one who possesses the Mark of Kings can enter.
Also, Grumpy Cat is not dead. So, just a retraction.
All right. In we go.
Like, I know Deformed Lise is a character because he's the Kingmaker, but, like... maybe that's one of the reasons why this game bugs me. There is no character development except for kind of, sort of, maybe Evan, but not really.
Yeah, Lofty. What do godlike animals do in their free time?
His character development is Evan getting strong enough so that Lofty cannot be a poop demon all the time. Like, I was thinking about this. Not only does the plot just super episodic with nothing really tying it together apart from the characters being there and, I guess, moving towards an end goal. But, like, has Evan grown up at all?
I don't think that much time has passed.
But no. Not age-wise, but, like, has he actually developed as a person apart from becoming, I guess, slightly more confident?
So he's become more confident. He's learned how to negotiate with people.
I guess?
About military strategy, about loyalty and friends, and how there are other perspectives.
But do they actually show his, like, military skills? Like, I'm not talking about, like, a gameplay perspective, but, like, does his personality show that he's a seasoned commander now? Because he is.
Well, he just decided that there's no convincing Mousinga, and they'll have to fight.
Did he actually say that?
Yeah. He has to be removed. That's what he said. And removal might mean force.
But then when he was talking to Ratcha, she was saying that Mousinga is actually a really nice guy and hates injustice. And he was all conflicted and stuff, and then we're going to go get the diary, and we're going to find out that, hey, Mousinga is actually, like, a decent dude. And it's just the Black Fog again.
We'll have to see.
It's kind of, well, it's like the whole Roland betrayal thing. I would have loved it so much more if that was Evan's idea. Because that would have been a very clear step up in his character. But no, his only like development there was just trusting Roland, which he's done from square one.
Now let's look around. I want to see what everything else is before we actually approach.
Every what?
Well, so I want to see what the other so those are just surrounding family members, and
Yep.
that's just the king, and the king is the treasure chest the diary? Thank goodness, because
hey, dear old daddy,
you wouldn't
want to
have
see
to
your
open
bones.
that up.
You really think there would be other, like, buried cats here, but it's just this one. Or do they just shuffle them off into one of these side graves eventually?
No, those are the side. Oh, you mean like
Yeah.
the most recent king versus
Yeah, what do they do? Do they just chuck this one in the lake and replace it with Evans next?
Ew.